Good afternoon, everybody. It is the Friday of the half term, so it's the 29th of May, and I'm giving you a head teacher briefing just in anticipation of the government's announcements about returning to schools from the 1st of June 2020. So first really important thing to say is that there's been a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes, and thanks to our amazing staff at Grange and governors at Grange, because we have absolutely prioritized the safety and health of and well-being of our staff and our children in making any decisions. That is crucial. The next thing to say is that, as the government said, it is a gradual returning of pupils to schools. So it is in very, very small numbers and in a way that we have deemed safe, and we've conducted a very thorough risk assessment, which has then been subject to a thorough, extraordinary full governing board meeting this half term to go through line by line in the risk assessment and make decisions about whether we can go ahead. And it's all based on our risk assessment. Now, the thing to understand is that if your child is returning to school in the year group of reception, year 1 or year 6, you will have received a phone call, email invitation. If you have not, that means your child is not returning next week yet, because this is all being done in stages. We conducted a survey and we got a lot of response from parents. Thank you so much. And we saw that the vast majority of parents do not feel that it is yet safe for their children to return to school, and we respect that. But the parents who have indicated that they would like their children to return, and that was in our survey, and that was across, and from the respondents in our survey, there was about 25% of the schools said that they would, if they could, let their children return to school. Well, we are doing that in bubbles, so that is in very safe enclosed spaces, self-contained, where the children are not mixing with any other children and the staff are not mixing with any other staff. And that within those bubbles as well, there's social distancing. So we have gone to a maximum of 10 in a bubble. And based on the desks and the seating, we've also removed all the soft toys from there, and we've got individualized equipment for children, and there's nothing coming in and out of school. So it's really, really built on a premise of safety. Most important is to realize that if you have been invited for week 1, then you will have received all the documentation. It's also really important that we encourage everybody who is coming to school to walk, not to travel by public transport, unless it's absolutely essential. And then what we're saying is we're not going to be storing bikes or scooters in school, so also be aware of that. So if you have been invited to come to school and you've got your staggered drop-off and pick-up time, please be aware that if you come by scooter parents, you'll have to take the scooters or bikes back. We will not be storing them at school. It's also really important to realize that you must come on time with the time that you've been given for dropping off and picking up. And we're not having parents entering the premises again from a safety perspective. This is not the way we want our school to be. And we look forward to a time after Corona where we can be as welcoming and inclusive as we always are at Grange. But this is all for safety in these real times of concern of coronavirus. Every bubble is going to have routines to remind the children about hygiene and about social distancing. And parents, as much as possible, please remind children, because these are incredibly important measures in order to control the virus. There's going to be no bringing in any outside stuff, so no bags. There's no uniform requirement. We just require children to come in fresh, clean clothes every day, so that we know again that the virus is being contained. The first day when children come, so if you're invited for the weekly bubble, they bring in a water bottle labeled with their name. There are places to fill up the bottle in the classroom bubbles, but we've turned off all water fountains. And that is, again, a measure to ensure safety. School's going to be closed every Friday, and that's because there'll be a deep clean every Friday in addition to the daily cleaning regime. It's also really important to remember that for everybody coming in, every new bubble will start with an inset day. So even parents who've been involved, and you've had a phone call today as well, if you have been invited and got phoned for children to return in year 6, year 1 in reception next week, so that will mean you'll start on Tuesday so that staff can make sure that everything is in place and ready. And then next week, this next week, we'll be phoning parents and families for the children who are coming in week 2 bubble, and they'll be starting on the Tuesday, the 9th of June. If there are any questions, people are welcome to email me at headteacher@grange.harrow.sch.uk. That email is on our online learning page on the Grange website. Our online learning, which has been amazing, credit to the staff, that we're going to keep going as long as possible with the teachers and staff who are designated for that and working from home to make sure that the online learning goes on for as long as possible. We're going to work on this and get through it all together, and I wish you all the very best. Please stay safe, everybody.